everyone. This is Tim Brown. Welcome to my Apple Podcast, the podcast that makes a personal connection to everything Apple. One thing I've been wanting to do for a very long time is to feature art apps for the iPad. Reason why I haven't done it so far is that there's so many of them. But I gave it some thought and I decided I'm going to go ahead and feature it in a series of episodes. It's going to be a 6-part series. The first part, I'm going to focus on drawing and painting apps for the iPad. And for the first one, I'm going to focus on the application Sketchbook Pro. Let me go ahead and open up the application Sketchbook Pro. It's by Autodesk. So you begin by hitting the plus sign and then choosing the resolution that you want to begin with. I'm going to go ahead and just choose the lower resolution just for demo purposes. And when you first pull it up, you get a blank screen. There's a little small circle at the bottom. You want to tap on that. That's going to bring up your toolbars on the left and right sides, as well as on the top. On the left is where you find all of your tools, your pencils, your brushes, your markers, all of the different textured brushes that you can access, and erasers. So let me just go ahead and just give you a sample. Right now I have the red color selected, and this is a pencil tool. I'm just going to go ahead and then draw on the surface of the screen. Just to give you a sense of what the range of marks can be, I'm going to go ahead and now use the brush tool. And I'm going to go ahead and use the airbrush tool. So as you can see, you get a wide range of marks. And this is just the beginning, by the way. There's a lot more to this application than this. Let me go ahead and just show you the erase tool real quick. On the right hand side is where you have access to color swatches that you scroll up and down to access. But of course, you're not limited to the colors in the swatch scroll bar. If you go up top, you can select this circle, which will bring up the color menu. Here you can see you have more options to fine-tune the colors that you want to use. So there's a lot that's immediately at your disposal in terms of accessing the tools and the colors that you need. Now let's go to the menu bar along the top. Along the top, you can go back to your gallery where you keep your drawings, start a new drawing by hitting the plus sign. And next to the plus sign is the information symbol. And there are two options here. One is preferences. And this is where you can control the different features that come with the application in terms of how you want to view colors and brushes, whether you want to use shortcuts like double tapping on the corner or 3-finger swipes, and so forth. I also want to go back to the other choice, which is help. The help menu actually is very helpful. One, you can learn about news associated with Sketchbook, or you can just tap on the help menu. And here you actually get a series of screenshots showing you how to use the finger gestures to initiate different functions. Along the bottom is a dotted row that usually indicates that there are many pages that you can flip through, and you can see the dots advance as you go from one screen to the next. So that indicates that there are a lot of different illustrations at your disposal in terms of figuring out how to use all the features that come with the application. Pretty nice. Okay, let's continue along the top. We have two arrows going forward and backwards. That's of course for redoing and undoing actions. And then we get to the brush tool, which is in the middle. Now before I go to the brush tool, because that's where you access all of your advanced features, you'll notice that there's a button in the center of the screen. This is also one of those quick access features that enables you to control brush properties. So on the one hand, if I place my finger in the middle and scroll from left to right, I can control the size of the brush. And you can see the size advancing from 50% all the way up to 80% and or to 1%. So that's one thing you can do. Also, by tapping into the center and moving up and down, you can control the opacity of the color as well. So here I'm all the way down to a very light, almost transparent color. So if I was to apply that, as you can see, it goes on almost like a cloud. And then if I was to strengthen the opacity, then you would see a little bit more of the color. So there's a lot of ways in which you can fine-tune the colors that you want to apply to your drawing. Now when you click on the brush tool, you'll be amazed at how many options you have. So as you can see, you have access to those brush tools that were on the left-hand side, the color tools that were on the right-hand side, but also you have infinitely more options. For example, once again, you see the dotted line along the bottom. Again, that generally means that you have more options to swipe through. So while the menu on the left-hand side just features those basic brushes that you see in this first panel, if you keep swiping through, you'll see that you have a whole lot more options. So this is pretty incredible. So for example, here's a leaf form. You can click on that, determine what the opacity is going to be and the radius from this menu as well. And then you can begin applying that particular texture to your drawing. You can continue to go through and explore all the options that are available. There are quite a number of them. So that's the brush tool. Next to the brush tool is the line tool. Now the line tool that I'm using right now is the first one on the left, which is kind of a zigzag. It basically allows you to control the line and make it do whatever you want it to do. If you want to have more control over your lines and you just want to use straight lines, I'm going to go ahead and just change my tool here. You just select the straight line tool. And then you'll see a line appear along the screen, which will then draw a straight line depending on where you want to place it on the page. It's that simple. And the same thing applies for everything else. If you want to add a square, it's the same logic. You'll see that you'll draw a square on the screen. When you release the screen, a square appears. And the same thing goes for the circle as well. So it's nice having those options too. And also you can mirror anything that you do on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and just start a new drawing real quick. So let's just say, for example, I wanted to draw a circle, and I selected the mirroring tool, which is right next to the shape tool and the line tool. Watch what happens when that's selected. Here I'm drawing a circle, and when I release it, it's duplicated on the other side. So basically anything you apply to your page, it will be duplicated on the opposite side. So I'm going to deselect that. And then we're going to go to the next tool, which is creating text. And you'll notice that right away you'll get a pop-up and you enter your text into the field that is provided on the left. You can then hit font to select the type of font that you want to use for your type. And then you can, in the middle, you have access to your color options. And next to that is a slider where you can control the size of the font. Again, very convenient. And next to that, you can actually control the opacity of the color as well. Pretty awesome. And it doesn't stop there. While you have this option open, you'll see there are all these other menus up above. You have a move tool where you can move the text when that's selected. You have a rotate tool where you can rotate the text around the pen that you see on the page. It's a little red pen. I'm just rotating around that pen. You can move that pen around with 2 fingers wherever you want it to go, and then you can rotate around that way. So pretty nice. I mean, you have to admit there's just some awesome features associated with, and you can play around with all the tools associated with those features surrounding the use of text. And then you just have a general remove tool. which is what opens up that menu to begin with. And the best feature of all, and any application that comes with this feature is worthwhile getting, and it's called layers. For those of you who use Photoshop or other editing photo and drawing applications, you're probably used to layers. If you've never used them before, layers basically allow you to work on things in isolation. So let's go ahead and click the layers panel. Let's just say we add a new layer. I'm going to go ahead and draw something on this layer. I'm going to choose the brush tool, and I'm going to add a strong color like blue. I'm going to put my finger in the center here to control the brush because I want a nice big mark here. And then I'm going to take this blue and I'm just going to draw over top of the layer underneath. Now the advantages of doing this is that you can make corrections and edits to this layer without touching what you've done underneath. So I'll go ahead and use the erase tool. I'm going to start erasing. And you'll notice that I'm only erasing the layer that I'm on. I'm not touching anything I've done in the previous layer. That's what layers allow you to do. It gives you that kind of an option. And it doesn't stop there. When you're in the layer mode, you can always choose. Let's say you get really advanced and you have 10 layers and you discover that there are some layers that seem to be more effective than some of the other layers, and you may decide along the way that, well, I kind of like what I did here, but compared to the way the other layers are impacting the overall drawing, I'm just going to go ahead and hide that one. And you do that by hitting the I symbol. And so now everything I've created in that layer is now hidden. And you can tap it again to return it. You also have the option to duplicate a layer. That's what the double plus sign is. And then the icon next to that enables you to import a photo into your drawing. So you're interested in doing that, that can come in handy as well. And again, you can think about that too in terms of layers and where you want that to appear in relationship to the other things that you've added to your drawing. So as you can see, Sketchbook Pro by Autodesk really offers some fantastic features for creating some amazing art on your iPad. Thanks for tuning in for this first episode on art apps in the category of drawing and painting apps. I'm going to continue with drawing and painting apps by focusing on Drawing Pad as the next topic of this series. Thanks again for tuning in to my Apple Podcast. My name is Tim Brown. Check me out next time.